Let me describe a situation and see if it sounds familiar. Two professionals, both educated, both working full-time. One earns a little over $60,000 a year. The other earns a bit more than 70. On paper, they're doing great. Their combined income puts them well above the national average. Statistically, they're doing better than most households in the country. And yet, they feel constantly behind. Their savings are thin, unexpected expenses go on a credit card. A single disruption, a car repair, a medical bill, throws off their entire month. They're tired. They barely see each other during the week. And despite doing everything right, they don't feel secure. If you've ever looked at your household income and thought, we make too much money to feel this stressed, this will probably resonate. My name is Mask, and I spend a lot of time thinking about why modern two-income households often feel more financially fragile than families did decades ago, even though they earn more. The assumption we were all taught. We've been told a very simple story. Two incomes are better than one. It sounds obvious. If one income can support a household, then two should create comfort, savings, and freedom. But that's not what actually happened. Instead, something quieter and more subtle took place. As dual-income households became the norm, the entire cost structure of middle-class life adjusted upward to absorb that second paycheck. Not luxury spending, not excess, baseline costs. What changed over time? A few decades ago, many households ran on one primary income. That didn't mean life was easy, but there was margin. Housing consumed a smaller share of income. Childcare was often handled at home. Healthcare and education costs were far lower relative to wages. And crucially, there was a fallback. If the main earner lost their job, another adult could step into the workforce. That second income acted as a buffer, not a requirement. Today, that buffer is gone. Both incomes are fully committed just to maintaining normal life. Why earning more didn't create security? Over time, the second income didn't create surplus. It created competition. Housing prices rose as more households could qualify for larger mortgages. School districts became tied to expensive neighborhoods. Childcare became a necessary cost rather than an optional one. Healthcare and education costs steadily climbed. So while incomes increased, fixed expenses rose faster. The result is a household that looks successful on paper, but operates with almost no margin for error. The hidden math of the second income. This is the part most people never calculate honestly. That second paycheck doesn't arrive untouched. It's taxed at higher marginal rates. It often triggers childcare costs. It increases commuting, transportation, and exhaustion-driven spending. More convenience food, more outsourcing of basic tasks. Less time, more friction. By the time you account for all of it, that second income often contributes far less to long-term security than people expect, sometimes shockingly little. Yet households build their lives as if both incomes are guaranteed forever. Where the trap really closes. Banks don't lend based on flexibility. They lend based on income. So households buy homes that only work if both people remain fully employed. They take on obligations sized for best-case scenarios. And that's where fragility sets in. If one income disappears, even temporarily, the structure doesn't bend, it breaks. Not because of irresponsibility, but because there's no slack left in the system. The difference isn't income, it's margin. Here's the key shift. Financial security isn't about earning more, it's about preserving optionality. Households that thrive aren't the ones with the highest combined income. They're the ones who resist letting fixed expenses expand to match it. They build their lives so that one income can carry the essentials. The second income becomes a tool, not a requirement. A different way to think about it. Instead of asking, how much house can we afford with two incomes, ask, what can one income safely support? That question changes everything. It leads to smaller fixed costs, more savings, more flexibility. And over time, that flexibility compounds into real security. What this buys you? It buys time. It buys options. it buys resilience. The ability to step back if health, family, or burnout demands it. The freedom to take career risks without panic. The confidence that one disruption won't unravel everything. That's what many families mistake for wealth. Final thought. The two-income trap isn't about working hard or earning well. It's about building a life that requires perfect conditions to survive. Real security comes from margin, not maximum output. From designing a system that can absorb shocks instead of collapsing under them. The question isn't whether two incomes are good or bad. The question is whether both are already spent before they arrive. Now that you see the trap, the next move is yours.